Opening day of Pennsylvania early muzzleloader season, I found myself on the Tuscarora Mountain near my home where I had found a lot of bear sign. The morning was cool and breezy, and I did not see any animals. During my morning hunt, I did discover a few places where bears were going in and out of a clear cut. There's bear tracks all over this ground in here. I then decided to go down along the clear cut and climb a tree for the evening hunt, and there I could see out into the clear cut and hoping to find a bear coming out to feed in the white oaks. On my arrival, 2 young Amish guys were coming out of the woods who had been in there all day. We talked for a little while, and on their way out, I heard a shot up their direction. That evening, when I drove out of the mountain, they were both sitting waiting on their driver to pick them up. I asked them if they needed a ride home, and they said no, but quickly proceeded to tell me how they missed a bear not long after talking to me. They had been walking out the road and heard something at the edge of the clear cut. When they slipped up to the edge, the bear was less than 10 yards away, but took off as soon as they lifted their gun to shoot. But the bear was already taken across the road, and it was a running shot, way behind. Monday, October 17th, I decided to go and hike the whole way to the top of the Tuscarora from clear down at the foot. I got up there at daybreak after about a 2-hour climb. It was interesting to see all the old tree stands in the trees, and some were on the ground like this old oak. I made myself all the way over to the forest boundary and went out across the top 4.5 miles. Yeah, I even saw spotted lanternflies at the top of the mountain. Took in a nice view of Thompsontown on the way back down, and after 7.5 hours and 4.5 miles in, did not get any deer sightings. In the evening, I went out to my father-in-law's, saddened above the food plot with terrible conditions of wind, and did not see a deer. That ended day 2 without any deer sightings for the past 2 hunting days. I was ready to get on some private land where I knew I'd have better chances of seeing some game. At daybreak, this really nice 9-point came right down the edge of the woods, and I could watch him at just about 100 yards. I would say this is about the biggest buck I've ever seen in the wild. He hung around for quite a while, and I was able to get some decent footage, even though it was low light. While watching the buck, I heard a turkey fly down and land nearby. It was a hen with about 6 jennies. They fed about 15 yards in front of me until they saw my movement and worked off. The smaller buck appeared after the big buck moved off. Then I saw them both together a short time later. He looked to be a good 8-point. Now my story goes into where I decide to slip hunt the ridge and get a shot at a doe. I just texted my neighbor. I asked him if I could slip his ridge, and he said that's fine, so I'm gonna get down. I'm not gonna be able to film. Can't hunt and film when I'm slip hunting, but got the west wind here, should work out. And one stood up 25 yards here behind this down tree, and took a crack at it. It was running like it was hit, but I couldn't tell real good. We'll go up here and look. That's the first blood I had. I didn't see it leaking out of her, but boy, I was right on her, and I let the gun surprise me when it off. It felt good. I'm just gonna have to almost track her. There's more blood. It's got bubbles in it, but I'm telling you, them round balls, they just don't bleed. I'm just going off tracks mainly, finding the occasional blood. I just came up here to the blood and heard something, looked over, and she stood up. I must have not hit her that good that she turned here. Yep, she turned in here. She laid down right here. Then she got up and she tried to escape. But I shot her. I went right for the neck, that shot. It's not a huge doe. And I hit her back a little bit, I guess. That first shot. Oh, there she is. Definitely looked to be the big doe, but she's by no means a monster. 2 small ones jumped up, and I thought, oh man, they're small, I'm not gonna shoot. And then this big one stood up beside this down tree and just looked at me, probably 25, 30 yards. And I thought I held right there, but I think when I shoot at deer, I do flinch a little. And I must have pulled a little to the right, like that's my typical flinch, is a right shot. And I had blood, but not real good blood, and came down here. She jumped up. I shot her in the neck. This is shot the first one with the 58,
can't say that I was overly impressed with the blood with this one either, but you know, I'd shoot in round ball as well, so better get her gutted. I'm planning to spend the rest of my day with my wife for her birthday, so anyway, she's at home with the kids, so I better get her gutted and drug her home. So thanks for watching. Sorry I didn't get the kill on film. That's just typically how it goes. I'm not going to film when I'm sneaking. It's too hard to do everything. Tree stand I'll try, but not when I'm slip hunting. So pretty excited. I'm going to get a tag on her, get her gutted, and head home.